You start. So, good morning to you, Don. It's my pleasure that you are here on this podcast with me.
And thank you for inviting me.
I stalked some of your books, and I found that you are a prolific writer. So far, you have written three amazing books. That is Lost and Found, Bear in Mind, and Where's the Vacation? Uh,
Yes.
wow. And I read the summary of these books and I was quite intrigued by the story of it. It can be deceptive because where's the vacation? So we think about vacation, but there is an element of ghost in it. So enlighten me about that.
Okay. This is a collection of stories for kids, and each story is written in a different genre, and it's about a family, could be parents and kids or grandparents and kids, different groups of families, all on different vacations in different locations. And then, so one is a ghost story about the first story in the book about a girl who's with her grandparents in Apalachicola, Florida. And there's a black cat that's a ghost that's trying to send a message. And then other stories, there's an adventure story where someone saves someone's life. There's a fantasy story about dragons. So anyway, I had fun writing it because I could try
Ah,
all kinds of things.
like I don't judge a book by its cover, but your covers are also really top notch. The cover of
Oh, thank you.
Where's the Vacation? And
Yeah, those were some of those were pictures I've taken and some were pictures we found elsewhere. So each circle is a picture of one of the stories. So I thought the kids could try to match the story to the picture on the covers.
okay, wow, interesting. And you spoke about a black cat, right?
Yes.
So now I'm not sure whether you got the inspiration from that or not, but like here we believe that there is a kind of superstition that if a black cat crosses your road, then it's gonna bring bad luck. So it's kind of
Yes,
superstition.
exactly. So that's kind of gives the intrigue at the beginning where the girl sees this black cat on the porch
Okay.
and she asks, "Do you think that's bad luck?" And it turns out not to be bad luck, but and
Hmm.
then each of the stories has fun facts is what we call it. So in this case, it's about our black cat's really bad luck and then some history about what that's about.
Makes sense. Wow, interesting. And if we take the look at this, your one particular book, Where's the Vacation? What inspired you to write that book, Don?
Um, well, I love to go on vacations, and I've visited all 50 states as well as Mexico and the Caribbean and Europe, and I haven't been to India yet, but I would like to. That'd make a good
Warm
story.
welcome. Warm welcome. You can do couch surfing at my home. So my doors are open for you.
Oh, thank you. Sounds wonderful. Where are you in India?
I'm from the west part of India, that is Gujarat.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful state and it has a lot to offer in terms of like spiritual, like we have abundance of temples. Then
Oh,
food is pretty amazing. You can come here and you can, like spicy food is quite great. So I guess it's going to be a fun journey if you ever visit to India.
yeah, sounds great.
And yeah, coming back to your where's the vacation? So you explore a lot of places. And if we try to, see from the perspective of a writer, what would you do, Don, if you go on a vacation and if you come across a ghost?
Might depend on the ghost, I guess. I assume you get some kind of vibe from the ghost, whether it's friendly or scary, or whether it means you harm, whether it wants your help. I think I'd find it intriguing, but I might be terrified. I don't know. What about you?
Uh, I would like look. If I tell you honestly, I teach English for a living, English and yoga.
Right.
So I would ask him whether he needs any sort of classes for English or communication skills. So that's what I'm gonna do. And
Oh,
are you into movies as well, Don?
pardon?
Are you into movies?
Oh, yes.
Really? Like what sort of movies?
Uh, well, all kinds of movies, I think. I like adventure movies, mysteries, but I also like just sort of character-driven movies about people who are exploring their lives or trying to find their way through grief or whatever. I look for, I like really good acting. I like a bit of humor. Uh, I like, I don't like too much gore and violence and killing people. India is a pretty big movie place, I understand,
Yes, we have this thing called Bollywood, and I'm not sure
right?
whether you are familiar with the names of some of the superstars. Uh, a lot of guys are big fan of Shah Rukh Khan, SRK, and
Mm.
there is Hrithik Roshan. Then, like a lot of people are Amitabh Bachchan. So these are some of the renowned faces of Bollywood.
Some of those movies make it here, but probably there's many that don't make
Yeah.
it to the States. But I have enjoyed some of them.
Okay. Can you think of the names of it?
Oh no, I can't. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm very bad at names of books and names of movies.
It's all right. And what about Hollywood films, Don? Like you said that you are a movie buff, but what sort of films? Like if you name it.
Well, there was one movie recently, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's about an author, and he's a black author, and
Oh,
he writes literary fiction, but his books always get stuck in the black fiction section, and he's trying to get recognition as I'm an author for everybody. Anyway, one of the great scenes that I identified with was he's working away on his computer typing a scene, and his characters show up in the room and they start talking and they tell him what to say. And I had that experience in writing Bear Me in Mind, where I felt like I got so attached to the characters that I felt like they were telling me what they should say or what they should do. It was very fun.
wow. Sounds fascinating. And that was my next question, Don. Like, if you had to be a character in one of your novels, which novel would you like to go with, and which character would you like to be yourself into that?
Hmm, that's a hard question. I'm actually sort of in Lost and Found because there are two time periods. One is in France and one is in the States. And part of what the one in France is based on a journal that I kept while I was a student there.
Wow.
So I've changed the characters and the story so that people can't be recognized, including me. But I certainly identify with that. I also I think I'd like to be Brent in Lost and Found because he's a lawyer. He travels around. He's very adventuresome. He's kind. He has a sense of humor.
Okay.
He was one of my favorite characters.
Great. And like when you are not writing or when you are not doing these things, or what sort of things you do to, rejuvenate yourself?
I'm very into plants, indoor plants, gardening, vegetable garden, flower gardens. I love to be out in nature, so I go hiking. Where I live is very beautiful. It's on a peninsula in Lake Michigan, which is a huge lake, and there are lots of small lakes. I like to go kayaking on the small lakes. I like to go to movies and concerts once in a while. I like to read.
Interesting. And in context of like reading, what are the authors that you personally look up to or you take inspiration from?
People always ask me that. And again, I'm terrible about names. I think very highly of Chris Bojalian. Do you know him? He's very famous here. I just read a book by him. He's just a really good writer.
Christopher? Sorry, Don, what's the name again? Christopher?
Chris, his last name is Boujalian.
Ujalian.
Oh, there is a
Yes, American novelist and author.
yes.
Oh, wow. He has written a lot of books.
He
Uh,
has written a lot of books.
this this books.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
I just read his latest one, which I thought was very well done.
That is the Jackal's Mistress.
That's right. It's about the Civil War in the US from sort of a different perspective. It's based on a real situation that occurred.
Western. Oh, nice. And our movies adapted from his books.
Yes, but I couldn't name any for you.
Okay, noted it.
There is a, hold on a second.
Yeah, sure.
I write down a list of the books I read because otherwise I can't remember when people ask me, what do you recommend? Um, do you know Elka Joshi or Joshi? She
Uh,
writes about India. She wrote
no,
6 Days in Bombay.
okay.
And she's written several that I've read, and I enjoy hers a lot. I do like reading books that take place in India.
Oh.
Seems like a very colorful, interesting place.
Hmm. Well, if you need any sort of inspiration whenever you write your next book, and if the plot is based in India, just ping me. I'll
I
enlighten.
will. I'd love to.
And no, and if then if someone approaches you to make a movie based on your books, who do you think would be the right actors for your movie?
Oh, I don't know. That question I haven't been asked. That's an interesting one. I'll have to think about that.
Well,
I'm not quite as familiar with some of the young actors who would be needed for some of my stories.
like, who are the actors that you like in general?
Oh, well, you'll know how old I am if I tell you.
I'm also into all actors.
Um,
I'm a big time, I'm a devotee of Stallone. I'm not sure whether you like that,
oh,
but
yeah, he's not a favorite of mine.
in terms of acting, I'll go with Tom Hanks. Then I admire he's a classic actor, James Stewart. I have
Oh,
watched a
yes.
lot of films of his. So James Stewart.
I yes, I like Jimmy Stewart. His
Hmm,
movies are great and his acting is really good.
yeah.
Um, now I'm trying to think of names. Hmm, I can't think of their names.
What
I'm
about
sorry.
movies? The old movies. I can think of the names of the actors.
Sundance Kid, the one of Paul Newman and oh,
Yeah.
can't think of his name.
Paul Newman was, I guess, there with the movie with the Tom Cruise, I guess. He was there in the old movie. Okay, anyway.
Anyway,
Hmm. What's wrong with Stallone?
I guess I wasn't into the boxing movies. I'm not very into boxing. Too violent for me. What about you? What did you like about him?
I like specifically that thing that you didn't like is the
Okay.
physique of his and the way
Okay.
he acts, and he looks like a commando. He looks like the man's man. So
That's true.
and I have this gigantic poster of him in my room. So whenever
Oh,
I feel like I don't want to work out, I take a look
uh-huh.
at it. I just do it.
And you think you might look like that eventually. He's very popular. He was very popular in the States.
Yeah. And also, like the category of Bruce Willis, in terms of
Mm.
people who were there with him. Not a big fan of Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Stallone is
You're into the bodybuilding, I can tell.
no. Like for me, three people are really top notch. That is Stallone, Tom Cruise, and Jason Statham. I'm big fan of these three people.
I was a fan of Tom Cruise. I enjoyed the spy movies that he did. I guess he did all his own
Yeah.
stunts too, so that impressed me a
Yeah.
lot.
And the fact that at 62, he's relentless. He's like invincible. He's still doing all those things. So it's really, inspiring to watch him.
So what about actresses? Who
Actress,
are your favorite actresses?
I like all of them. Uh, Starting from Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie, Cameron Diaz, then Kate Winslet, Julia Roberts. In like new actresses, I'll go with Kristen Stewart,
Hmm.
Emma Watson, then Amber Heard. All these are like Alexander Daddario.
All
Yeah.
right, good for you.
Like I'm a nerd about movies. I really admire movies and books as well, but not like that much into books. When it comes to book, I'm not sure, but I'm like I like to read the books of Agatha Christie.
Oh, I do too. I really like Agatha Christie. She's really good at those plots.
Yeah,
And you don't have to have a lot of violence or gore or whatever, but she really sucks you into wondering who done it, what's going on here. So,
yeah.
and a lot of those have been made into, TV movies and all. So there was one that came out recently that we just watched.
Um, I guess that is the Nile or Murder on the Orient.
Oh, the Orient Express. Oh, and then there's one on the Nile is also. The Orient Express was one of my favorites because all the people conspired to commit the murder. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. That's there. And from author to author, like one again hypothetical question, Don, if you meet Agatha Christie, what sort of questions would you like to ask her?
Hmm, that's an interesting question. Um, I guess how did she come up with, those plots? Did she spend a lot of time thinking about it? Did they just come to her suddenly? Was she, hiking or doing something that brought those, to her? Did she plot out the whole thing ahead of time, or did she just kind of let it unfold as she was writing?
Makes sense. And how do you get your ideas, Don, like creative ideas to create such kind of things like three novels? That's not a small, like it's a big deal to create to have three novels. How do you get these ideas?
I do often get mine when I'm hiking. I think it's part because my husband and I go together and we're quiet hikers. We don't just chatter the whole time. We try to you know, watch the trees and identify flowers and look for birds and stand and look at the water for a while. Anyway, and then the Bear Me in Mind came from a walk in Alaska where we actually encountered a bear close up.
Oh,
Um, and it was a very inspiring to me
great.
uh, experience. We were walking back from the Mendenhall Glacier National Park, and we're just walking on the sidewalk on a regular road, and I saw a bear on the side of the sidewalk, and I thought, well, that's a weird place to put a sculpture of a bear. And then he turned his head and looked at me, and I went, oh, that's a bear. So we backed up, and he just kind of ambled along, crossed the road. He stood in the middle of the road and watched us go, but I could tell he didn't mean us any harm. He was just out for his stroll, and we were out for our stroll. And so, anyway, I felt like we had a connection, which is
Oh,
weird, but I felt like we had a connection. So that
whenever.
inspired me to write Bear Me in Mind because in the
Oh,
book, the main character has an experience with a bear that's uh, a bit spiritual, I guess.
wow. Nice, great. Like, I want to show my viewers some of the books of yours. Uh,
Okay,
these three books, particularly Lost and Found, Bear in Mind, and Where's the Vacation?
right.
Yeah. So it's really like when I was reading the summary of Bear in Mind, I thought that it has something to do with philosophy or something, but then I realized that there's an actual bear in the novel. It was quite
Right. It's also partly when the character gets sort of stranded in the woods and she needs someone to come and find her. And it's kind of bear me in mind, don't forget me, come and find me kind of thing.
interesting. That reminds me of the movie. Have you watched that film, Castaway, of Tom Hanks?
What's that?
Castaway, Tom Hanks, where he's
Oh, yes,
stranded in that
yes.
island.
And he's another favorite. Tom Hanks is a big favorite of mine. And I thought Castaway was brilliant too. I
Yeah,
thought that was just conveyed so well, his experience.
makes sense. And when it comes to books versus movies, like adaptations from the books, what do you think are better? I always feel like books are better. Do you have the same opinion of mine?
I do in general, but sometimes some books I think have been better in the
Hmm.
movie because the actors are so good. So I don't know if you know the Inspector Morse, if you do any of the mystery things.
Morals? No.
Oh, anyway, I read the books and I thought the character was kind of boring, but the Thaw is the last name of the actor, and he did such an amazing job of presenting that character that I thought the adaptations were actually more interesting.
Okay. I can see that it's a series. This one?
That's him, yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. Wow. Recently, there has been the adaptation of the Lee Child's book, that is Jack Reacher. Uh,
Oh,
so, like three series have come out, and those three series are really, top notch. Like the actor in that is like
uh-huh.
really, he did a commendable job. So sometimes it, like you said, it's like it's good to visualize those things.
Right.
See it. Nice. And what's your next plan, like in terms of writing? No.
I decided to try something different. There was in the Where's the Vacation? There's a fantasy story. And so I decided to write a sequel, which is a fantasy story for kids. So it has dragons in it and magic and all kinds of stuff, just because I thought it'd be a fun thing to do over the winter. I can just use my imagination. It doesn't have to be accurate or correct. I can do whatever I want. So I was just having fun with it, basically. And I'm not sure after that. I sort of have a couple other things in mind, but I haven't decided yet where I'm going after that.
What are some of the best compliments that you have got from your readers?
Um, hmm.
Sorry,
Usually
you all the things that you do.
people just say things like I loved your book or it really inspired me or it made me think or something like that. I got a really good review from Kirkus Reviews and they said really nice things about it, which pleased me.
Nice, great. I'm also planning to read one of your books. I guess Where's the Vacation, and bear in mind, I'm kind of in dilemma which one to start with. So what do you recommend if a person like me who is a naive but who want to jump into this books? Which book can I go with?
Bear Me in Mind is probably in a way, the easiest book to read. Lost and Found has a bit more loss, people who are grieving. And if you're not into that at the moment, you might find that harder to do. Although it's not a sad book at all. It's inspiring, I think, of how people cope with grief. But Bear Me in Mind, I think, has interesting characters. It's a bit of a suspense novel. A lot of nature in it.
Nice. Like recently, I've been meeting a lot of writers like you, and the vibe is really top. Like it's outer than like larger than life vibes. Like all the people, like, is it the same with creative people? Like even the vibe that I'm getting from you, you are like vivacious, and the energy I can sense it. So is it the same with all the creative people?
Um, I think creative people ha always have a certain kind of energy, but it can be a quiet energy or a more, outgoing energy.
Yeah. And
And you certainly have a lot of energy, so you are a creative person also.
thank you. Uh, I appreciate it.
So, so who do you teach English to? I was curious.
Um,
I'm a teacher in my past life.
oh, okay. All right. Like presently, I teach people from different parts of India, working professionals. So yeah,
Oh,
my students are adults, and I teach online. And
okay.
yeah, furthermore, I run a YouTube channel, so there I do like upload this kind of podcast, so my viewers can learn a lot, not only English but several things from my guest. So that's the purpose of it.
I thought that might be the case. I thought it was a great idea because it gives people they can sort of choose what they want to hear about or think about and hear English between different people.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the whole point of it, and yeah, I always try to stay ahead of the curve. I like keep on honing my skills. I watch a lot of films for the sake of entertainment and English also, and I read.
Hmm.
I like to hang out with friends. But the best part of my day is when I do podcasts with creative people like you. So that's the best thing. Like I'm always head over heels with this thing. Like whenever I get yes from a person, I'm really excited to meet that person to learn something
Yeah,
from.
right. That's pretty cool because you can talk to people from all over.
Yeah.
Did you grow up learning English or did you learn it later?
Um, I studied entirely in English medium school, so it has always been a big part
Um,
of my life. Yeah. Then I did my bachelor's and master's in English. Currently, I'm also pursuing a
oh,
doctorate degree in that. Yeah. So yeah, English and yoga are like my two things. I'm always either either I'm into English or I try to do some yoga.
do you teach yoga as well?
Yeah, I'm a yoga
Huh?
trainer. Yeah, teach yoga.
I enjoy yoga also. I
Oh,
think it's, yeah.
okay. If you ever feel like you want to learn online, you can ping me. I'll give you
Oh,
classes online.
okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah,
I'll bear it in mind.
nice, nice. And who do you think would be the right actress for your novel, Bear in the Mind? I guess it's a female-centric novel because it has a story where the female finds the bear. So who do you think
Right.
would be the actress?
Well,
Super.
that's a good question. I think Emma Watson might be a good person for that.
Okay.
I'm not real, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of movies recently, so, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, she has a knack for acting. Most of her films are, they are not commercial. They are like kind of like it has something like some sort of stories in it. I guess Emma Watson might be the right choice. And what
I'll tell them to ask you if they want to make it into a movie.
if possible, kindly recommend the producer to have me as an actor, I guess.
I don't know much about that.
And uh, what about 90s actresses? Dawn, which are your favorite?
Well, I mean, Meryl Streep been around a long time, but I always thought she was very versatile because she did a lot of different kinds of things. So she was a favorite.
Interesting. Nice. Yeah. I watched one of her movies with Anne Hathaway, the one where it's about fashion. Uh, the one with the Prada, Devils Wears the Prada, I guess.
Oh, right, right. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she played a sort of mean character there,
Yeah.
but she did it very well. And
Yeah.
it and another one, she's been totally different than that. So that's what I think is shows that she can really act. She's not the same in every movie. She can do all kinds of people.
And all right, I guess I won't hold you any longer. I'll bother you some another time. But I had a whale of a time having this conversation with you. So,
I had a good time as well. It was great to meet you and thank you for the opportunity to talk about writing and lots of things.
feeling is mutual. I learned a lot from you, and I'm really like looking forward to our next conversation. In the
All
meantime,
right, me
take care
too.
of yourself.
All right. Have a good day. Bye.